Hello, this is Danny Blyth from the College of Integrated Chinese Medicine looking at Yin and Yang. Please pause and read this. If we look at the characters for Yin and Yang, the left hand radical is for hill. Early forms showed 3 steps up a hill, or perhaps 3 hills in a row. On the right side of Yin we have in the presence of clouds, or clouds covering the sun. And for Yang we have a picture of the sun with rays shining downwards. So together these represented Yin, the shady side of a hill, and Yang, the sunny side of a hill. Note the same hill but 2 different sides of that hill. They came to represent the feminine and male principles. So the shady side of a hill and the sunny side of a hill. You can remember the interactions of Yin and Yang with the mnemonic idiotic. Interdependent, intertransforming, interconsuming, and opposite. So they represent opposites like male and female, light and dark, day and night, hot and cold, up and down, heads and tails. They're interdependent. They form a unified whole and you can't have one without the other. Like the peak and trough of a wave. They're intertransforming in that each contains the seed of the other. There are no absolutes. So at the height of the sun at noon, we start to move towards night time. Like the cycle of growth and decay, or the way the young yang of spring turns into the high yang of summer and transforms into the young yin of autumn and the strong yin of winter. And they're interconsuming in that fire evaporates water and water extinguishes fire. And in this way they maintain a balance. And Yin and Yang are useful in that we can take things that we do understand, like male and female or day and night, and we can use it to understand more about things that are harder to comprehend, like life and death, self and other, mind and body. And we can understand that these are just part of a unified interacting whole. According to legend, which means it's probably wrong, Fu Shi, the first emperor, invented the bagua, or the 8 trigrams, after seeing the river map on the back of a dragon horse. And after the great flood, him and the goddess Nuwa together repopulated the world. More realistically, during the Shang dynasty, divination was done through cracking shells and bones with heated metal, and the patterns that were left were then divined. During the Western Zhou, the I Ching, or the Book of Changes, was written, which was essentially a list of portents or omens, and the commentaries written by King Wen of Zhou and his son the Duke of Zhou. During the spring and autumn period of the Zhou dynasty, Confucius was meant to have written the 10 Wings commentaries, which essentially changed this text from a divination text into a philosophical and an ethical one. And in this text, Yang was represented with a straight line and Yin with a broken line, and these combine to give us old and young Yin and Yang, which we can see represented in the seasons and the cycle of a day. Each of these can be combined with a yin or a yang line to give us the bagua. So heaven is 3 yang lines, earth is 3 yin lines, water yang within yin, and fire yin within yang. 2 of these bagua were then combined together to make the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching and demonstrate the forms and transformations of Yin and Yang. Zhou Yan founded the school of Yin and Yang during the time of the 100 schools of thought. Zhou Dunyi introduced the first Tai Chi diagram, although it's very different from the one that we have now, that we recognise now. And it wasn't until the Ming dynasty that we had the more familiar swirling variation of the Tai Chi diagram, and later still that the 2 dots got added to the familiar diagram. Tai means supreme, G is ultimate or polar, originally the ridge pole of a tent, and 2 is a map or a diagram. So the diagram of the supreme ultimate or the supreme polarity. An empty circle representing no polarity or void. A second circle representing Tai Chi, polarity and the emergence of Yin and Yang. A third circle representing the interaction of the 5 elements or the 5 phases. And finally 2 touching empty circles representing the 10,000 things that are created by heaven and earth, or everything. And later it was the second circle that became the versions that we're more familiar with. So Yin and Yang in traditional Chinese medicine is seen in defense and nutritive Qi, in Qi and blood, rapid and gradual, function and structure, restlessness, sleepy, red and pale, full and empty, acute and chronic, back and front, above, below, head and body, Fu, hollow organ, and Zhang, solid organ. In Tai Chi Chuan, we see this polarity in full and empty in the stances. We see it as hard and soft, rising and descending, expanding and contracting, attacking, defending, outwards, inwards, forwards, backwards, the palm up, palm down, and the fist and the palm, among many others. That's all. Thank you for making it to the end. Here are the photo credits.